We'll just briefly review now three of the questions that you will encounter next in the practice test that I prepare for you. So these are questions very close to the ones that you'll have in the actual exam, and I spent a lot of time basically to select some of them that could be more important. Some things that you'll not find easily outside. Question one: what is the result of the last statement? Create table vals, yeah, insert into vals values 1, 2, and null, and then they call select average from this table. Okay, so basically this would be gives me the average between the values 1, 2, and null. Okay, you can stop the video here and come back later. I will go ahead, yeah, with the answer. It's B, 1.5. Let's see, why is this? Is this specific to Snowflake? Not really. It's more generic, but there are differences from one relational database to another. So, the average, which is an aggregate function, will calculate all average, the mean values from a set of non-null values. Okay, so they will simply ignore the nulls. In this case, let's see, they will consider just 1 and 2, and they will say 1 plus 2 divided by 2. Okay, the total count of non-null values. Yeah, the tendency could be to divide always by 3, by the count of all values, but no, this doesn't apply here. And be careful, there is one single situation where the null values are considered. If all of them are null, average of all of them null will return null. Question 2. Which of the following statistical functions will help you predict some correlated values on some sample data using the linear regression? Regression slope, correlation, standard deviation on a sample, yeah? Try to get familiar, refresh your skills into statistics because, yeah, you'll get questions like this, especially, as I said, those related to linear regression. And honestly, they are not very hard to learn. You can stop the video here and come back later. I will go ahead with the answer. Okay, that's a regression slope. Why this? Because to predict values, you need to calculate the slope and the intercept, and this function will give you the slope that you apply, you multiply a specific independent variable, you add the intercept, and that's the way you get some predictive value for some dependent variable y. And look, that's why I used on purpose different other words here, correlated values and so on, yeah, just to some sample data. Uh, yeah, definitely correlation could be also important. Standard deviation, yeah, related to the distribution. But for this specific question here, to predict some values, yeah, you need the slope. Question 3. What is the easiest way to get the row number for each record in a stage data file? And you have here called the row number window function. Yeah, you should be familiar with it. Yeah, with all the rank functions, with all the offset functions, as well lead, lag, and so on. B. Define the sequence with increment 1 starting from 1. Create a field as an identity column. You can see that B and C are very related. Yeah, and get familiar with sequences and the identity column, which is using a sequence behind. And D, select the metadata $file row number predefined column. Well, as usual, you can stop the video here, come back later. I will go ahead. Select the metadata $file row number. Okay. So this is something which is very specific to Snowflake, as you can as you can see, as you can expect. But get familiar with all these metadata fields that Snowflake may generate in several cases, and in particular here, You see, you can query directly data on files, not just on tables. Yeah, keep in mind this. You have to bring your files into a stage, unless it is not already into a public external stage like S3. But then you can simply say select and give me something $1, $2 for the columns by position, or you can also look at some built-in fields like this one, file row number. Okay, so this will give you the row number. Learn about this because there are, as you see, things that are very specific to Snowflake, or there could be very generic things for a data analyst. You will have to get familiar for these exams with both of them. And yeah, good luck with the practice test next.